Hello again, this is Skip, Vector Echo 6, Bravo, Golf Tango. So it's come to a point where I have to purge some old junk. I just can't take this anymore. This picture shows one corner, and this is an old picture. It's, believe me, twice as bad as this in the far corner there by all my feeds. So this is a little different kind of story. It's going to have some junk throwing away. It's a little bit of nostalgia on some of the old projects I'm scrapping, and should be enjoyable. So first on the chopping block, well, no, some things I just can't throw away. I just can't bring myself to throw this thing away. It's my very, very, very first thing I've ever built when I became, well, actually I built it before I was a ham. My very first transmitter, crystal controller for 40 and 80 meters. Even in the early days, I was hung up on 19-inch rack. This is not 19-inch rack size, but I was kind of going for it. The faceplate, I built it out of, believe it or not, 1/8-inch steel plate. I remember having lots of fun cutting the holes for this one. I remember building this from a schematic in, do you remember the old Popular Electronics magazine? And it was actually, I was going to tech school at the time, and I was learning things, and this was an experiment. Love the toilet paper roll on the electrolytic at the top. I remember getting shocks off that thing constantly. They're in series. And the foam rubber underneath the CW relay to keep it from clanging so much. I was actually keying the cathode, so the B plus from the plate was winding up on the key, the CW key. So that was another thing I learned. So yeah, it was fun. Another old sweep tube, if I recall. Don't ask me what it is. I'd have to have a look. This is the next item on the nostalgia list. No, it's not a stereo. Believe it or not, this is an audio phone patch I used on HF many years ago. I think it was back in 1990 that I had a friend who was in the military, and he was stationed at the NATO base up at Alert Bay. That's the end of Ellesmere Island. And this, of course, this is pre-cell phone days and all that, pre-internet. And there's a bunch of them up there who wanted, some way to talk back to the families and stuff back here, I guess. I mean, they had ways of doing it, but him being a ham and a bunch of them were hams, they wanted to do it on 20 meters. So I got together with him and I built this foam patch. And for that one whole good winter and part of the summer, I believe every weekend I did 2 or 3 foam patches for these guys. It was a lot of fun. So you can see in the pictures, those my HF experimentation days. And I finally got some kind of an antenna system that stayed up in the air. We had a lot of fun doing the foam patch work. Anyways, the fellows up there, they appreciated all the time and effort I put into it, so they presented me with this nice plaque. Looks really good on the wall. So, got a little sidetracked on the old nostalgia trip. This is what the inside of the foam patch looked like, and it was one of my earlier circuit boards. So we got scrapped, and I kept the circuit board, but everything else went in the junk pile. Next on the chopping block was this project. It was an HF transceiver. It was a commercial radio. It started off with crystal controlled. It has a 120 watt, I think it was, or maybe 150 watt PA in it. And it was full coverage right from 0 to 30 megahertz. So I started converting it, and I almost had it working. Well, actually, it was working, but people kept telling me that it sounded like crap, and I could not figure out why. I'd listen to myself, of course, it doesn't work. And on a scope, the sideband pattern looked good, and I fought with it, and I used it a few times, but I just pretty well just lost interest in the darn thing. So it's been sitting on the shelf for many years, and it was the next one to get. This one got scrapped. It was quite a circuit, quite a project, and I did learn a lot about sideband transceivers and how filtering and all that worked and stuff. But it, I don't know, like I said, lost interest. But it does have a nice power amplifier. That part I did keep. I kept the harmonic filters, the stage before it, and the 150 watt power amplifier. I still have it on the shelf, so maybe some use for it. So there's a bunch of littler pieces and stuff that I've chucked, but that was the 2 big items that I scrapped. Now there's some other things that I couldn't bring myself to scrap either because, well, this one, for example, is my 439 megahertz fast can television transceiver. I don't use it anymore, but I couldn't bring myself to tear it apart either. It's what the parts, what do I use it for? And it looks nice. I might put it to use someday. Who knows? Then there's this one. Of course, I can't scrap this. This is my 1 kilowatt 6 meter amplifier. It uses a pair of 4 CX250s in it, of course, and works very well. I might get back a 6 meter someday. I'm just disappointed that it's all digital, but hey, maybe sometime. You never know. But it's a keeper. So is a power supply. I might be able to use it for something else. I got some other ideas for a pair of 4 CX250s, so you never know. Might have to put it back in another rack someday and put her to good use. But anyways, it's going to go back on the new shelf. Then there was this thing. I know it was a power supply, and I remember it was some weird commercial thing that I took and I kind of upgraded it. I put extra pass transistors on and all this stuff, but I couldn't remember what it would do. I knew it was 12 volts. I think I built it for some repeater thing or something way back when. So I had to test it and figure out just, is it worth keeping, scrapping, or just what? So I built this power supply. Actually, I think I just robbed the innards out of something and then rechassied it for a 19-inch rack, and I don't remember what it's good for, so excuse the camera shot here, but we got hooked up to the load anyways, and we're going to run this thing up and see what it does. I remember it had current limiting. I got to go this past 3 times here. Should go any... Here she goes. No. That's 15 amps. We still got 13.5 here. Let's see if it wants to cover roughly 30 amps, and we still got 13.45 over there. But now it cuts out pretty soon. There she cut out. So we'll say 30 amps. So I cut her back the load. There's our voltage back again. Oh, there it goes. Yep. Oh, not too bad. It's good for something, I guess. I won't scrap it. I'll keep it. Anyways, I got everything taken all apart, and I all piled up in the floor in the middle of the shack. 2 or 3 computers. I took the hard drives out and threw the chassis away, and just some junk, all in all. So this is what it looks like in the middle of the corner. Actually, this is a smaller picture. I actually did add a bunch more junk to it later, and I didn't take a picture of it, but oh well, you get the idea. And out of all the junk, I staved some pieces. So this is a small box of parts that I did keep. You can't throw away everything, Well, all that tore apart and all piled up, ready to go. I had to get it out of the basement and out to the dump site, and had a bunch of stuff out in the garage I scrapped too. But then this happened. Typical Alberta spring weather. We had temperatures of 20 degrees centigrade. All the snow was gone. Then the next day when I was going to haul the junk out, it started to snow, and it snowed some more. We got about 2-3 inches of snow, and needless to say, everything turned into mud. The waste disposal site would have been just a quagmire. So there was no hauling, nothing anywhere, and the pile sat in the basement floor in my ham shack for 2 days, and I tripped over it continuously. So, oh well, that's just typical weather for Alberta. So it quit snowing finally, and a few days later, it dried up. Not too bad anyway, so it's time to get at it. So, this is the purge. I'm going to get all this outside. I'm not going to dig it up through the upstairs house. So, what's nice about this old log cabin is, in this ham shack, I've got this nice entryway outside. Works really well for bringing heavy gear in and out of the place. And step over the septic tank and then load it into the trailer. That's actually the old countertop that I had down there that I cut apart the other day. So I guess time to get at it. Yeah, this works really well. You can see it's Quite convenient for getting equipment down into the shack. You've seen those scenes before. Working through here, and then, yeah, all that junk. Should be entertaining. Time to get at it. Finally, it's all loaded up, and it turned out to be quite a pile. There's a few other things in there, but not much. Most of it's stuff I've scrapped from the basement in the ham shack or from the garage. That big metal thing on the far back corner there was an old AC load circuit I scrapped. Saved the resistors, but the rest of it's going to the dump. Well, now we're off. Nothing from the wind. We'll see. Like a buckboard. I'm gonna go get a little gear here. Mostly for the rubble pile, but I got a few old computers and some electronic chassis throw in your electronic bin.
Alright, and no metal or anything like that?
No which?
No metal or anything like that?
Nothing of any size, just, you know, bits and pieces of tin covers and stuff like that.
Alright, and you know where everything goes?
Oh yeah, I think I saw. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thanks. Well, I'm gonna have to hang up the phone because I don't think I can drive and hold the camera at the same time here. So this is our first stop, electronic bin. It's rather neat in there, I tell you. We'll see. So this is where you put all the good stuff. Here's I can never get over the TVs in here. There's TVs in here better size, bigger than mine at home. So oh well. That's where it all goes anyway, so we'll get started. Next stop, rubble pile. It's always an interesting place. Oh, gotta get over it. scrap metal. Not over there, but the brown bin's right over there. Interesting place. And right here. Oh, turn off again. And forgot to turn the camera on. Oh well, we're all finished. Heading home. Finally got the purge done, so we'll call it a wrap. Pretty hard to drive and hold the camera at the same time. Anyways, we're almost home. Springtime. Oh brother, this is funny. I run into something, it'll be amazing. What a laugh. Okay. Gotta back up, so that's it. So, this is what it looks like now. 100% better. Can definitely get at a few things and see things in there. So, it's a good job done, I think. Getting rid of some of that junk. It'll collect again, though it always does. But anyways, you might get a kick out of my collection of old meters and stuff. I've got what started off just as a kind of a fad. It turned into something quite good. So someday I'll make a video of them, I suppose. Might be kind of interesting. From a different angle. Let's see what's on the shelf. Anyways, someday I'm going to have to think about going through this mess. All good stuff in there, but I'll never use a lot of it. A lot of it's just stuff good for HF bands. So that'll be a purge in itself someday. But oh well, that's another subject. So anyways, now you can say you've shared a trip to the waste disposal site with Skip. Now, something different, I guess. Anyways, thanks for watching, if you did. And we'll see 73s. See you later. From V6 Bravo Golf Tango.